call is now being recorded.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I extend a heartiest welcome to our alumnus, Mr. Mayank Agarwal. He's from our school, from the class of 2016. Mr. Agarwal has done BTech in Electrical, Electronics and Communications Engineering from Bhagwan Parshuram Institute of Technology. Since his childhood, he has always been interested in developing systems and projects. His passion has helped him in arriving successfully in the domain of IoT, that is Internet of Things. Today, he will guide you all about how to pursue a career in software development, IoT, and embedded systems. Once again, I welcome Mr. Mayank Agarwal. Over to you, dear. Yes, ma'am, please begin.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So it's a pleasure to be here. So good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? So let's get started without wasting any time. So can I start sharing my screen?
Yes, please do so.
And one more thing, I would like to check that are you all able to hear me properly? Uh, I'm assuming there should not be any sound issues.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, students, please, yes, reply.
Yes, you are.
yes, sir.
I can hear you. Yes, I can. Yes, we all can hear you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's nice. And you can call me Mayank. Please don't call me sir. Okay. And are you all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now before starting, so you all must be knowing that this session will cover the concepts of IoT, embedded systems, and software development. So before putting my views on this, I would like to question you all that what is your opinion about embedded system or Internet of Things? So is there anyone who would like to put any answer to this?
We have Vedant Jain. Yes, Vedant, you may put your question.
No, I'm just answering that.
Oh, yes,
But
answer. Yes.
from what I know, that Internet of Things would be like a series of processors and sensors connected through a logical board to do something, and it would be a lot of different devices connected over a network to increase the utility, I guess.
Perfect. Like you gave the perfect definition. So that's what Internet of Things is. There are two concepts in Internet of Things. First one is embedded system, and the other one is Internet of Things. Okay. So first of all, let us understand what an embedded system is. When we combine software with hardware, the result that we get, or the fusion, the product obtained after this fusion of software into hardware, is known as an embedded system. Like for example, I have this microcontroller with me. I'm going to show you this project. This project is all about real-time temperature and humidity monitoring system of our room. And what this project does is that it monitors the temperature and humidity of our room and sends the data wirelessly onto an application present on my mobile phone, and I can monitor that on real-time basis. Now most of you must be wondering that why do we need any additional hardware to do this operation? There are multiple apps that we can install onto our phone, and those apps can tell us the real-time room temperature or humidity. But let me correct that understanding, or let me bust that myth by saying that those apps don't provide values of temperature or humidity on real-time basis. Those apps predict the value of room temperature by measuring the temperature of battery present inside the phone. So if you will be playing games and if your battery will get heat up, then the reading shown by those apps will not be accurate. So are you getting my point? So in this case, what I'm doing is, so let's get back to where we were. So when we combine software with hardware, we get an embedded system. So I have by combining software into hardware, what does it mean? It means that we are programming hardware using different programming languages like C++, Python, or various other programming languages. We are giving instructions to a particular, like I have this hardware, so I am giving instructions to this microcontroller in using C++ programming language that fetch the data that is being monitored by this temperature and humidity sensor and send that data onto my mobile phone. So all these instructions that all the operations that I want that my project perform, or I encoded those instructions in the form of by using coding languages in the form of a program, and I fused that program onto this microcontroller. I'll show that program to you. So can you see my screen of this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the program. Like what this program consists of, I'll give you a general overview of that. This program is saying to my project that monitor the data. This is the this is the temperature and humidity sensor that we have. So and I have connected this temperature and humidity sensor with this microcontroller, and I'm programming this microcontroller with this code. And in this code it is written that fetch the values that is being recorded by this sensor, and after fetching that values, push those values onto the mobile application with which I have linked this hardware. I'll show you that as well. So this is the code, this is the software part, and this is the hardware part. And when we combine these two things, we get an embedded system. So let me show you one thing. Let me connect it to power to my laptop.
Mayank, there are students who want to, ask something right now. Is it okay if they talk in between, ask you something in between?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Okay, Vedant, you may ask whatever you want to.
Sir, are you pushing the data through Wi-Fi, or are you using something like, are you
Yes,
uploading it to AWS?
I'm using Wi-Fi to push data. I'm using Wi-Fi technology to connect it with internet. So
So are you using the router as a hub for this?
yes, like I have connected this with my router, with my home router, and then it is pushing the data to cloud, and the cloud which we are using is Blink Cloud. So with that cloud, that data is being transmitted onto my mobile application.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so uh, may I proceed?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can see there are some values that here it is written 31, here it is written 87. So there are some values that are written. Okay, let me do it for more clarity of yours. You'll get more clarity with this. I'm just printing a message so that you understand it in a better way. So what I'm doing right now, I have created an embedded system just now. You can see I have fused the software into hardware, and I have created an embedded system. And what that embedded system is doing, that is fetching the data from, that is giving me values of temperature and humidity, and print that data onto the screen. I'll show that to you. It's just compiling the sketch and it is uploading. So after that, when we get an embedded system, and when we connect that embedded system with a cloud or any other mobile or any other embedded system via wireless technologies, what we get is an internet of things. Like internet of things is basically a network of different embedded systems, or an embedded system or a smart device which have got the capability to communicate with each other. And by and the meaning of communicating with each other, I mean to say they must be able to exchange some information between the two devices or between two embedded systems. Okay, so my code is uploaded. Now you can see. Okay, now you can see there are some values that I'm getting over here. I'm getting the value of temperature as 31 degrees Celsius and humidity is 85%. So right now it's working in an offline mode. I have not connected it with cloud. Right now it's just an embedded system. I have fused software into hardware and an embedded system is formed. Now what I'm gonna do is I will connect this with the cloud, and if you want to cross check these readings, this temperature value, you can check it over here. This is also showing 31 degrees Celsius and this temperature value is also 31 degrees Celsius. So now let me connect it with cloud and show you that how I'm getting these 31 degrees Celsius and 85% humidity on my phone. So let me go back to my browser. Let me open up my phone. Okay, so are you able to see my phone screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I have opened this Blink application and you can see the values of temperature and humidity onto my phone. And
Yes.
you can see that my phone is not connected with any of that hardware in a wired manner. It's all everything is going wirelessly. So how it is happening is that first of all I created an uh, an embedded system, which is this. I programmed this microcontroller. The first step was I created this embedded system, and the second step was I connected this embedded system with cloud, and with the help of that, you are able to get the data. Uh, you can see the data on my mobile phone in a wireless manner. So all this is happening over Wi-Fi, via internet, and it's completely wireless. So now let's move on to the next step. So what it requires to, like, if you what all skills do you need if you want to pursue your career in internet of things or embedded systems? Like you must be having questions like how much technologies do we need to learn in order to become an IoT architect or like something like that. So I am going to answer all those questions. So first of all, the first step that is the first skill that you should learn to become an IoT architect is circuit designing. You should have knowledge of circuit designing. You should have knowledge of hardware designing in order to make an IoT system. Like what I have done here is I have formed a circuit of this temperature and humidity sensor with this microcontroller. So for that I should have that knowledge of integrating or forming a or designing a circuit of these two components. Without that knowledge I am not able to I cannot integrate these two hardware components with each other in a wired manner. So circuit designing knowledge should it's the first step, or it's the basic thing that is required to become an IoT or embedded systems architect. And after that, when you feel that you are good, now you are expert, or now you are on a good level in circuit designing, the second step is that you should learn any of the programming languages. I have mentioned C++ and Python over here, but you can learn Java as well. Although Java is not directly used in programming microcontrollers, but the motive of learning programming language is to learn the logic and to learn the algorithms and to learn how the code works. So like and So you can learn Java as well. And the languages that are mostly used in programming microcontrollers are C++ and Python. I have programmed this controller with C++. Like you can see, the syntax of this code is very similar to C++. So uh, if you should have knowledge of C++ in order to mm, write code. This code, you should know how to write a particular code, how to encode your instructions that you want your project to perform, how to encode those operations into the code that you want to get done. So after that, when you are done with the programming languages, you should know which wireless technology, how you're going to form a wireless network with another embedded system or with another device. Like in our case, in this project, what I did was I used Wi-Fi. What I've done is I have connected this overall circuit with my home router, with my Wi-Fi router, and now this circuit is getting access to internet with the help of Wi-Fi. And my phone is also connected to the Wi-Fi, and I'm getting the data from the Blink cloud via Wi-Fi. So it's not just only Wi-Fi is not just the one technology, one wireless technology that we have in IoT. We have multiple wireless technologies which you can use for various operations. Like we have got Wi-Fi, we have got cellular technology, we have got radio frequency, we have got infrared, and we have got LoRa technology, we have got Zigbee technology. So the technology that you pick up, it depends on your project requirement. Like my project, this is a very very basic project, and like the requirement of this project is an indoor requirement. Right now I am at my home, so I can give access to this circuit. I can provide Wi-Fi access to this circuit because I am at my home right now. But what if I am not at my home? I am at some place. I am in the middle of some way where I cannot provide access to Wi-Fi to my net to my circuit. In that case, cellular technology will work. So with whatever technology you will pick up, it all depends on your project requirement, and it all depends on that. After that, the fourth step is cloud computing. When you are proficient in wireless networking, the fourth step is cloud computing. Now I am pushing this data. Now my circuit is connected to internet. Now what I'm doing is I'm pushing the data onto the cloud. So you should know how to you should program that cloud. You should configure that cloud in that manner that that cloud is ready to receive data on real time basis and is ready to push data onto your mobile application on real time basis without any delay. So you should know how to configure your cloud, how to set up database. You should know how to set up APIs. APIs are application programming interface. So what I'm doing here is I'm calling an API, and I'll not go much deep into that so that you don't get confused. So what I'm doing over here is I am calling an API. Like API acts as a door to the database. So like in simple words, if I talk about, you should know to program the cloud in order to in order to build your IoT ecosystem. You should know the various you should know various programming languages that are used to configure cloud. One is Python, another one is Node.js. Node.js is a framework. Another one is JavaScript, and other than that we have Java as well. We use Java in various clouds to configure it. So what you need to know in cloud computing is how to receive the data from hardware and how to push that data onto your mobile application or on website or any other device. So all those things comes under cloud computing, and you should know, and you should deploy algorithms onto the cloud in order to send and receive data. So after this after this step, we have got the very very important step. We have UI design. UI design is basically user interface design. Now I showed you this application on my mobile phone where you are able to see the temperature and humidity values. So this application needs to be designed. You should know how to design this application. How to you should know how to make this application fetch data from the cloud, how to link this with the cloud, how user interface will look like, this appearance of this application should look like, because users will interact with this application only. They will not interact with cloud, they will not interact with wireless network, they will not interact much with hardware as well. They will interact with the mobile application only. A layman user will only open the mobile application and check the values of temperature and humidity, and just uh, uh, get just have a look at the readings, and he or she does not care about much about the cloud or wireless network or something like that, or the backend technologies that we are deploying. So we should be able to design this mobile application and link it with the cloud, link it with our IoT device, and many other things, and the technologies that you can use to um, develop a mobile application is, first one is Java. Java is a programming language which is widely used in Android development. Nowadays Kotlin is also used widely for mobile app development. So what you can do is you should know the syntax of those programming languages. You should know the development of Android apps. You should know the frameworks that you can use to develop mobile applications for both Android and iOS. So you can see, like, IoT is a combination of multiple technologies. You must have observed, like, first of all, one should be familiar about hardware technology. One should know hardware design. One should know hardware engineering as well. Other than that, one should know programming language like C++ or Python. One should be proficient in any of the programming languages, and one should know wireless networking, design a network, secure a network, how to link different devices present in a particular network, how to troubleshoot a network, how to debug a network, and one should know cloud computing. So there, IoT is a combination of various technologies. So even if, like, there are some cases when a person starts into IoT and learn all these technologies, and after that she figures out that now my interest is just cloud computing. I don't want to pursue any of this hardware design or wireless network. So that person can continue in cloud computing. That person can switch into this domain of cloud computing from IoT to cloud computing. That person is familiar about it, and he or she can dive deep into cloud computing. Other than that, if you figure out, like, my interest is just in app development, after doing UI design or after building an application, so you can switch into Android application development as well, or iOS application development as well, because the most beautiful part of IoT that I like is the combination of multiple technologies. You get exposure to each and every technology, and I believe almost every technology that is used nowadays in industries. So in IoT, if you want to pursue your career, you can start with these technologies, and if at some point of time you feel that, okay, the only technology that I want to pursue is this, like, I just want to pursue networking, so you can become a networking specialist. You can switch from IoT architect to a networking specialist. And if someone thinks that I just want to do app development, so you can switch from IoT architect to app developer. So you get exposure to each and every technology. If you want to go into hardware designing or hardware engineering, you can switch into that as well. So this is the combination of multiple technologies that we are using right now. For example, instead of, like, right now I'm using an application, a mobile application. to preview my real time to preview my temperature and humidity values. But what if you want to you want okay you say that no, I don't want a mobile application, I want this data to be published onto my uh, website. I don't want to I don't know how to build a mobile application. I want to publish but I know how to build a website, so I want to link this with my website, and I want this data to be published onto my website. So what you can do is, instead of using this mobile application, you can use website as well. Let me show you one website where you can push that data. Okay, so here it is. This is a cloud server. Now you can see here are different values that we have, like temperature, humidity, AQI. Instead of using mobile application that I just showed you, you can use this website as well, or this is also a cloud or a database. You can use this for your for creating your IoT based application, and for this you should have knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all the backend technologies like C sharp, database, and like I know it sounds pretty much confusing, but these are the technologies that you'll require to create a website or an application or an IoT based ecosystem. So am I clear till now, or you have any question? You can ask any question if you have. Okay.
Yes, Vinayak has a question, and Lakshay also. So Vinayak, you may ask your question.
Sir, I want to ask that which software or a website is best to make a app or a website?
Uh, which software you mean to say?
Which software is best or a comfortable to make a normal or perfect app?
Okay, so you mean to say ID, integrated development environment?
Yes.
Okay, so we have various, like we have Java JDK, and we have Jupyter as well for Android development. Jupyter is also used for Android development, and there are multiple more IDs which I'll suggest to go for Android Studio first. You can, if you are a beginner, then you can go for Android Studio. It's good for beginners. uh, like if you want to just start with Android development, you can install Android Studio onto your laptop and start building mobile applications. So you can go for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have Lakshay also has a question. Lakshay,
So
you may
what
ask.
is a cloud?
Sorry, can you please repeat your question?
What is a cloud, sir?
Okay, so basically cloud is basically a database which is present over internet, and it can be accessed from anywhere in the world. Okay, do you use Google Drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me give you a one basic example. Suppose this is my laptop and I have a file onto my laptop. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
if my laptop is at my home and I go out of my home, and now I want to access that file onto my access that file when I'm outside my home, that file which is present on my laptop, is there any
Okay.
way I can access that file?
So
What
before
is
going out from our home, we should have been saved that file on Google Drive.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm just giving you an basic example right now. So this is on my local machine, so I cannot access it. But if I have uploaded that file onto my Google Drive, then via internet onto my mobile phone with the help of my Google Gmail credentials, I can access that file. So that Google Drive is a cloud or a database. That cloud or a database provides functionality to store data in such a manner that uh, that that data can be accessed from anywhere in the world via internet from any device in the world, from any person in the world, after doing certain authentications. Authentication is required for security purposes, like you cannot access Google Drive without your Gmail credentials,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So in cloud, authentication is required to access data via internet. So once you get that access, any device via internet, any device can access that data.
But
So
that means Google Drive is an example of cloud.
yeah, Google Drive is an example of cloud.
Okay.
Okay, so does
Yes.
that answer your question?
Okay,
Okay.
Pearl also has a question now. Yes, Pearl.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. I want your opinion that how artificial intelligence will impact application development.
Your voice is not clear. Can you please repeat the question?
I want, sir, that how will artificial intelligence impact application development?
Yeah, so my next slide is all about that only. So you asked that question first. Okay, so let's move on to that. Okay, so you're asking about the role of artificial intelligence in IoT, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now these are some of the trends that are going on in uh, IoT, some of the latest technology trends, and I will answer to your question as well in this. So these are the trends, that these are the current industrial trends in IoT. Like companies are integrating these two technologies into IoT. The first one is cybersecurity, and the second one is artificial intelligence. I'll cover artificial intelligence first so that I can answer your question. So, what's happening is that, uh, like for example, there are multiple IoT. They are making their industries are not just making IoT applications. They are now making smart IoT applications. One, that applications which are able to make decision on their own if user does any mistake. For example, you must have heard that when you say something to Google Assistant, and if you pronounce some word incorrectly, Google Assistant corrects it. Google Assistant does correction on its own. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So same thing is happening in IoT devices as well. For example, nowadays we have smart geysers. In smart geysers, what you can do is you can turn on or turn off geysers with the help of mobile application wirelessly, and you can set the temperature of those geysers wirelessly with the help of your mobile. So w- imagine a situation in which a user has turned on a geyser, but he or she forgot to turn off that geyser. In this situation, a disaster can happen, because a geyser is a is that kind of application, is that kind of appliance which is very, you know, like, it can cause a disaster, in simple words I say. So if I'll deploy artificial intelligence onto my that IoT system, where where I am able to access my geyser with the help of mobile phone, that artificial intelligence, with the help of that artificial intelligence algorithms deployed in that system, geyser will turn off on its own after some time. Are you getting my point? It's same like screen inactivity that we get on our phone. When we don't touch our phone for 15 seconds, the screen gets off after some time. Same thing will happen with those smart geysers as well. They will monitor the human behavior, they will monitor the user behavior in that particular IoT application, and learn by themselves to enhance user experience, or to prevent any disaster, or to make that IoT application more efficient. Like for example, if you're using, like for example, let's consider another example. There is an home automation system where you can turn on lights or turn off lights with the help of Alexa or Google Assistant. Now, to reduce power consumption, so we have habits that sometimes we forget to turn off our lights of that room or fans of some room when they are not in use. We have in that we have those habits. I can understand. In that case, what happens is that uh, power consumption is going on with and it's it's making your it's costing your money. In simple words, it's basically it, and it's cost. So what that IoT application will do is, after some time, that those lights will be turned off automatically, in order to prevent power consumption, in order to reduce power consumption, and in order to save your energy and your bills. Are you getting my point? So then does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, a lot.
Okay, thanks. So now let's move on to cybersecurity. So another technology that is a very another hot technology that is very used.
Mayank, please excuse me for a while. Please, children those who are raising hands, please don't do so. Keep your questions with you. By the end of the session, there will be an interaction. So then you can ask your questions. Don't raise your hands now, please. Yes, please
Okay,
move. Yes, go on.
thank you, ma'am. So now another technology that is widely being used nowadays by industries or widely being deployed in IoT applications is cybersecurity, because cyber security is the primary concern if we talk about technology nowadays. If I say that I want to deploy one home automation system in your home, and I'll do that for free, but the drawbacks of that system is that system can be hacked by anyone. It is very easy to hack. So will you deploy that system onto your home, even for free? I'm
Sir,
assuming
it depends what kind of system it is.
it's an home automation system.
No, sir.
No, we will not.
No, sir. Obviously, nobody wants that situation where your
No.
lights start blinking at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you start thinking of ghosts or all other things. So nobody wants that situation. So in that case, security becomes the most primary concern. So because you can see over here, like we are using multiple connections, or you can say multiple linkings in an IoT ecosystem. A circuit is linked with in a wireless network with a cloud, and a cloud is linked with a UI or an Android application or a website. So there are multiple there are multiple links. There are multiple, and the drawback of that is there are multiple paths for hacker. Like a hacker can once like a hacker If a hacker penetrates into any of the path, if a hacker gets access to any of the path, then he or she will get access to all, to whole network, to whole IoT network. And so we don't want that. In that case, security or cyber security becomes the most primary concern. Let me give you one example or one scenario which happens. Like, home automation system or smart home system is connected with our Wi-Fi router, right? When we install that in our home. So if someone hacks our Wi-Fi router, then that hacker will get access to the whole automation system, the whole network that is present inside your home. That hacker can access your smartphone, that hacker can access your hardware device, that hacker can access your network in which that all those things are linked. So in that case, cybersecurity is the most primary concern that is being primarily used by industries nowadays. So now you can say that IoT is a combination of each and every technology that you can think of right now. It consists of cybersecurity, it consists of artificial intelligence, it consists of hardware designing, it consists of application development, it consists of web development, it consists of cloud computing, it consists of wireless networks or a networking technologies. So if you want to build your career in IoT or in software development, so you can start learning all these things. And once you are proficient, or once you think that now I'm expert in all these things, you can build IoT projects on to a much larger scale. So that's it from my side. In case you have any questions, you can ask me, and in case if you have any questions in future, you can ping me on these social media platforms. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So thank you very much. Now you can proceed with your questions.
So, okay, Gagnesh seems very keen to ask a question. Yes, Gagnesh, you may ask your question now. Gangesh Chopra. Yes, beta.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we use Python for Android development in Android Studio?
Uh, I think as far as I have understanding, Java is used in Android Studio. I think you cannot use Python in Android Studio, but you can use Python in different IDEs as well. And if they have, like, I have not Android Studio for a while, so I don't think there's some updates from Android Studio. But if they have provided any update for Python, like if they have provided some libraries for Python, then you can use that. You'll have to check that thing. But as far I know, you we cannot.
Sir, Keely, there's this
Okay,
new
sir.
API called Keely. It allows you to develop apps using Python. The only problem is that it isn't designed for front end. I guess it is for the back end of the app. You can't really do UI with it.
Sorry, I didn't get your point.
Sir, there's this new library they made in Python. Two
Okay.
libraries, but one is Keely and it allows you to make apps in Python. The drawback is that you cannot use it for front end development because UI support is not there. You cannot change the UI of the app. You'll have to use XML or JavaScript for that.
So you are talking about Android Studio?
Sir, I think we can import it into any ID.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like you can do that.
Okay, next is Sahaj. She has a question. Yes, Sahaj, you may ask.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I would like to ask what are the most common mistakes that mostly students make while pursuing their career in software development?
Uh, Most common mistake they do is, first of all, they run after multiple programming languages. They they think that we learn all the programming languages present in this universe, like we learn C++, we learn Java, we learn Python, we learn Kotlin, we learn everything. But you should but my suggestion, that is the most common mistake that I have noticed, and my suggestion would be that you don't need to run after multiple programming languages. Just make your grip strong in one programming language, any of the programming language that you like. And you can and if you'll have to switch on to another programming language, then you can switch on to that as well, because programming is all about logic building or algorithm design, and you can do that in any of the programming language. What you need to learn is logic building or algorithm design in a programming language. You don't need to learn multiple programming language. You need to learn logic building and algorithm design. Other than that, what many people do mistake is that they mm, run after multiple technologies or multiple projects. Like for example, uh, they they think that they learn web development also, they will learn machine learning also, they will learn artificial intelligence also, they will learn application development as well, they will learn cloud computing as well. And they do and they don't know the basics of any of the field. Like it's like jack of all trades, master of none. So do not become a jack of all trades, master of none. Become a master of one technology. And like, what the basic thing is in each and every technology is the of structure or architecture of that technology. And I believe that every technology has similar architecture or similar structure in some manner. Once you are expert in any technology, you can easily switch on to another technology. It's just that you, your basics should be strong. Your basics of one technology, if your basics are strong, then you can do development in any technology without having prior knowledge of that technology.
Okay, next we have Tanishka. Tanishka, you may ask your question.
Yes. Sir, I want to ask that how much money we have to spend to become professional after my 12th?
After to become a professional,
Yes, sir.
uh, can you please repeat your question? To become a professional IoT architect?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't need to spend any additional money for that. What you can do is you'll opt for your engineering branch. That will be the cost that you'll have to pay, that the fees of your college. Other than that, you just need some of the components, like these components. So if you want to do something practically, you just need some of the components, and these components are not that expensive. You can have multiple components in 2 to 3,000, in the range of 2 to 3,000 INR. So it's not like that you'll have to spend lakhs of money in order to become an IoT architect, or you'll have to spend like thousands of rupees or something like that. You can start in this field by just spending 2 to 3,000, like, and even that 2 to 3,000, you don't need to spend that money on one time basis. You can start with some basic components and then proceed further, and after that, when you feel like you should work on advanced components which cost little expensive, then you'll have to switch on to those components. So it's not like that it's way too much expensive, so you can start.
And sir, how much we can earn per
I can't hear you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
uh, no, you can repeat your question. I can't hear you.
Sir, I want to how much we can earn per month?
uh,
Better,
Sorry.
Tanishka, your sound voice is not clear. So let's give other children a chance. Umesh, you may ask your question.
You can put your question in
Yes,
chat
sir.
The
box.
chat box. Yes, yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So my question is, will the arrival of quantum computing in the world of technology have any effects on the availability of career options to students in the IT sector?
I don't think, like, I'm assuming, like, is there any network issue on my end or at your end? Like, I am not able to hear you all properly. Let me check. Meanwhile, you can put your question in chat box.
Okay.
Now I am able to hear you. You can repeat your question or put it in chat box.
Yes, sir. So my question is, will the arrival of quantum computing in the world of technology have any effects on the career options available to students in the IT sector?
Okay, so you're asking about effect of quantum computing in IT sector, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, quantum computing is used for computing. Like, quantum computing consists of various type of computing. Like, first one is quantum computing is mainly used for robust data analysis, where you have to process multiple data, millions of records of data, and on a way, in a very quick manner, and you have to process that data on in like in a very short span of time. Other than that, or it consists of edge computing as well, where you want to process that data. You don't want that process, you don't want that data to be transmitted to server. You want that data to be processed onto the user side as well. Like, for example, in case of IoT, we say, if I'm collecting this data onto my hardware device, and this hardware device is manufactured by some company, and that company is monitoring that data onto their server and then processing that data and then reverting back to me, then it will create a lag. It will cause a delay. And nowadays, technology is all about minimizing that 1 second difference. They are like everyone is working on minimizing the delay, minimizing the time it takes to perform certain operations. So quantum computing is all about that. So it is a part of IT sector and it's going to change the IT sector, because with this, computing or processing of data becomes very faster, and it can be used for raw very what will be the correct word for that, like for a very large volume of data, like millions of records, billions of records, not even millions. So quantum computing is all about that, and it's now getting used by various companies. It's now getting into picture, so it's starting.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, next I have Pratishta, and I think that is the last question I should take up because they have other sessions also coming up at 11. So
Ma'am, I have a
Pratishta,
question.
okay, Pratishta, you may ask your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Sir, I
morning.
want to ask, I'm interested in computer science and want to software engineer, but is software engineering a still valid option with so many people getting in software engineering?
uh, it depends on your interest. Like, what is your interest? If you are genuinely interested in development, if you are genuinely interested in coding, if you are genuinely, if those codes, if those statements fascinate you, then it will be the best option for you. But if you are entering into the domain of computer science by just seeing the high packages of software developers, or by mm, just seeing the large companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, or something like that. So in that case, chances are that you will not be able to, like, I'm not demotivating you. I'm just telling you the reality, that if you're genuinely interested about that coding development, then you should enter into that domain. But if you are interested more in money, that the packages that they offer, or the companies, the profile, then you can think about it one more time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll take the last question from Vedant. He is very keen.
Ma'am,
So Vedant, you may ask your question.
ma'am, I also have to. I also have to ask
Okay,
one
Vinayak,
question.
I'll give you a chance. Yes, Vinayak, just wait. Hold on.
Good morning,
Okay,
sir.
so okay, sorry to interrupt. One more thing. If you feel like if you have any question, or that you I'll not be able to answer in this chat, in this meeting because of time issue, so you can reach out to me via LinkedIn or mail. I can share that screen again so that you get to know about that. Okay, so now you can continue your question. In
Sir,
case, yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
I want to ask that. I just wanted to ask that what experience would I require to actually get into that field? Like, I do know a lot of programming languages. I have 5 to 6 years of experience in coding and programming, but
Okay.
I know little to nothing about hardware. I know about networking and software and app development as well. So, with this experience, could I get into just as a driver developer, maybe an engineer for the hardware itself, not actually engineering the circuits.
Yeah, you can go into it. Like, what I'll suggest is, like, what I used to do was, I I I learned things by creating, because what I feel is sometimes prerequisites are the things that stop us. So if you'll feel like I'll gain some more experience in hardware as well, as you mentioned that you have 5 to 6 years of experience in software, which is a very good thing. But if you'll feel like I'll gain some more experience in hardware, then I'll pursue IoT, or then I'll pursue that. So in that case, you'll be like, you'll keep on delaying that thing. What I'll recommend you at this point of time is that enter into hardware development, even if you don't have any experience. and learn things by creating it. The maximum you what you will do is you will do mistakes. You will you will end up creating a bad project, or what do we say, a project that is not working, but that is not harming any one of us. So you feel free to do mistakes, feel free to uh, learn by creating. And you can like one website I can suggest for you if you want to start working on is tinkercad.com. This is a free website where you can work on hardware virtually. You just have to create an account on this. You will have access to some basic components, and you can test your interest or knowledge on hardware. So you can start working on this website virtually. You don't have to pay anything onto this. This is a free of cost. So does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
is there any site for software development also?
Mm, you can do software development onto your laptop. You don't need to pay anything for that. Mm, like hardware is the thing that in which you require some components. So for that you should have the websites like this. But software is all about, it's already present on your laptop or machine. So you don't need to like if you're asking about the courses or something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so courses you can search on YouTube. YouTube is the best platform. I go and search on YouTube regarding all the courses. And if you want some paid courses, you can go to Udemy. I can put those websites into the chat box. Let me do it.
Sir, if I choose IoT as my career, what other opportunities I can have in future?
Can you please repeat your question? I can't hear you.
Sir, I can write in the chat.
Okay, so these are the website where you can go and have some knowledge and get some courses on development. And one more thing that I can suggest to you is if you want to start building an IoT based application, and if you feel that you don't have much coding knowledge, so there's a tool called MIT App Inventor, where you can just create an application without using and without having much knowledge of coding. It's just like you have to pull these blocks and create a flow. So
Okay, sir.
and this app and I have also created many applications with this. You can link these applications with your hardware as well, like basic hardware like turning on or turning off LEDs or relays. So in Atal Tinkering Lab you can do that. You can try having a look onto this. It's a very easy to use.
So, I'm Nalta, sir. I have made an app around 1 month ago.
Okay, so
So, I've made that app on the code.org. It is a free software. On the everyone can watch the code of that app. So, sir, I want to know that how to put a lock or security code so that no one can see my
uh,
app code.
okay, this
So,
is the this is your app whose link you have shared in chat box.
yes, sir.
Okay, so you did this. Uh, who can see your code?
So, after downloading this, uh,
Okay,
if you go on there's an option how I made this app. So after clicking on that, you can see the code of this app.
okay. So you want to know that how to hide that?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So that only I can see my
okay.
code and no one can able to
In
see.
that case, you'll have to modify the security profiles that you have assigned into this application for code. Like there are certain apps, like you must have heard of open source. Do you know what open source is?
Mm, no, sir.
Okay, no
Right.
issue. So what it this is a feature basically. As a developer, you created an application, and now you want that application, you want people who are using that application to not just use your application, but they should be able to improvise or modify that application as well. In that case, a developer has got a functionality to provide the code in their app. So, but you can disable that. For that, you'll need to go to security profiles for that, where you have assigned security profiles for your code. So you can modify that security profile for code and
So the
make it.
code.rg is a fully open software.
Uh, uh, what I am assuming right now is, because I have not seen your app, that you have enabled that security profile to get access to your code, to get users access to your code.
Okay, at
So
this point, I would suggest, students, please, beta. He has a fixed time. He cannot just stay here for you people. We will share his contacts, his mail ID, and everything. You may ask and contact him. Sir has already done it, so I think it's the best idea that you right now please leave the session. You have other sessions to attend, and he also has important things to do. Okay. So on this note, I'll thank you, Mayank. It has been wonderful. I can see children are brimming with questions. I think should have been a longer one. Thank you so much, Mayank. I hope to see you in future again in school in all
thank
these
you, ma'am.
events. Thank you so much. It has been wonderful. Thank you, Bacha.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for having
Thank
me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.
So मेरू मैम डन है. हेलो मेरू मैम.